Hello, today I'm sharing with you the foundations for financial boundaries so you can protect your peace and your wallet. Saying no financially is one of the hardest things we do, not because we don't know how to budget, not because we don't know how to say no, but because we care deeply about other people. We want to say yes to our kids. We want to say yes to our friends. We want to say yes even to ourselves. And sometimes even to that really persuasive salesperson. But every yes costs us something. Every time we say yes, when our heart says no, we're actually saying no to something, whether it's our peace of mind, our goals, or our future self. Today, we're talking about financial boundaries, what they are, how to build them, and how to live in alignment with what matters most. I'm Vicky Oberlander, a strategic financial coach and founder of Vicky's Pathways. I'm a financial educator and coach, not an advisor, which means everything I share here today is for educational purposes only. My goal is simple: to help you feel confident, informed, and empowered in your financial journey. There are QR codes and links available for today's session, which includes my business card, a link to my calendar for a free 60-minute coaching session, and today's companion guide. So, to get started, I like to think of boundaries like the guardrails on a bowling lane, like the ones that kids use to make sure that their ball stays on track. The guardrails are not there to stop the ball from moving, they're there to help it stay on track and hit its target. Financial boundaries do the same thing. They protect your values, your priorities, and your goals. They protect your peace of mind and they protect your relationships. When you build boundaries around what matters most, it becomes easier to decide what deserves your yes and what requires your no. For me, one of my top priorities is time with my children. If I notice that my decisions about my time or money are pulling me further away from that, it's a signal that I've overcommitted. So when I say yes to additional tasks that take me away from my kids' bedtime or supper time, it's actually saying no to what matters most to me. I continue to strive to live more intentionally every day. And I wish I could say that I have it all figured out, but I don't. I overcommit and then I fall short and then I feel guilty. And then when I figure it out, I purge the excess and then I feel guilty about that. And then I over explain about why I'm purging the things and so forth. But what if there was a better way? What if I learned to say no sooner and articulate more clearly what I'm actually willing and able to give? That's not being selfish, that's being honest. Boundaries are about protecting what matters most to you, being clear before you're depleted, whether it's financially depleted or personally depleted. The same is true for money. We overcommit to memberships, subscriptions, purchases, events, consumption, and things that lead to waste. But the truth is, we can purge, we can get realigned, and we can learn how to say no to the things that aren't a priority going forward. And that way we have room for what really matters most to us. So now that we know boundaries matter, let's look at the three kinds that need your attention. Internal boundaries are the limits you set with yourself. These are things like sticking to a budget or using a 24 to 48-hour hold before purchasing non-essential purchases, like when you fill up your shopping cart online and then you decide, I can wait until tomorrow to check out to see if these are really things I want or need. External boundaries are limits with others, like telling your child, yes, we can go out for a treat, but we're going to keep it to under $5, or saying no to a pushy salesperson. And if someone keeps pressing, it's okay to end the conversation. I like to be as respectful as possible, saying something like, I've already given you my answer. I'm going to leave the conversation now, but I really hope you have a wonderful day. And then environmental boundaries are shaped by the systems around you, like laws, policies, and even compliance with the IRS. This might include having your taxes properly withheld from your paycheck, your other benefits and such withheld, or adhering to court orders. Before you can protect your peace, you have to know what you're protecting. Ask yourself, if I say no to this, what am I saying yes to instead? Healthy boundaries make space for what matters most to you. So, how do we define what matters most? I like to use a three-pillar approach, which includes, what are your values? What are your priorities? And what are your measurable goals? So, values are the principles that guide you. It's your inner compass, such as respect, safety, trust, honesty, integrity, growth, or loyalty. You can do searches online and find lists of like 200 plus values and narrow down to come up with your core values from there. My top three are respect, compassion, and integrity. And then priorities are where you focus your time and energy, such as family, health, faith, or financial stability. Goals are the results you want, things like debt freedom or home ownership, retirement, or more time with loved ones. Want to get our goals written down in a way that they're measurable. So, pay off this $5,000 worth of credit card debt by March 31st, 2026. Defining these three helps you know what is important to you, what matters, and that helps you make decisions that align with who you are. It's easier to say no when you're clear on what you're saying yes to. These three layers of your why help you know where you are going so you don't drift off course. These are your guardrails in that bowling analogy. Once you know what matters most, alignment is how you live it out. It's being able to articulate your values, priorities, and goals and protect them in daily decisions. Alignment means your choices, your spending, and your schedule all tell the same story. Let's talk about internal boundaries, the limits that we set within ourselves. If this is an area where you struggle, you can start small by creating a spending plan that reflects your priorities and goals. Review it regularly and celebrate small wins in a way that doesn't sabotage your growth. One of my favorite tools is the HALT method. Before spending, ask, am I angry or agitated? Am I lonely or tired? That 5-second pause gives your heart a chance to catch up with your habits. If you're about to buy takeout at 9 p.m. after a hard day, ask yourself, am I tired? That $30 could be exhaustion talking and not hunger. Here's a simple trick. Use a 24 or 48-hour hold on non-essential purchases, and you'll be amazed at how many things in your cart you never actually buy and never miss. Now, Let's talk about external boundaries, the limits we set with others. Communication is key. When you clearly share your values and your goals, others can better understand your boundaries. And it's okay to say no, even when it's uncomfortable. Who here has ever said yes and regretted it later? Saying no can feel hard in the moment, but it prevents resentment later. Guilt breeds resentment, and that's not being peaceful and it's not being loving. So say your yes and say your no from a place of honesty and not from guilt. Protecting your peace and your wallet is one of the kindest things you can do for yourself and others. Remember, boundaries aren't about just saying no. They're about making space for what really matters to you, what truly enriches your life. When you protect your boundaries, you protect your peace. If you remember one thing from today, let it be this: boundaries protect what matters. Practicing the boundaries gives them strength, and alignment makes them sustainable. Boundaries turn your values into action. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If today helped you think differently about your financial habits, follow me for more education that's rooted in peace and not pressure. Remember, learning about money isn't about perfection, it's about growth. It's about being intentional, one choice at a time. Thank you.